Our next reader is Oscar Mancinas. Oscar Mancinas is a Raramuri-Chicanx writer, teacher, and PhD candidate. He was born and raised in Mesa, Arizona's Washington-Escobedo neighborhood. His books include JAULA, ROTO, a MEX-TAPE, which I think is the most awesome title, sorry, and To Live and Die in El Valle. He splits his time between Phoenix and Mesa. I'm going to post a couple of links in the chat to Oscar's work, so while I do that, please join us in welcoming Oscar Mancinas.
Thank you, Jake, for the introduction, and thank you to the Piper House for hosting this. Thank you to my fellow readers, to everyone who's able to attend. Really appreciate it. I know it hasn't been the easiest year for all of us. So I have 3 poems that I want to read, 2 newer ones, and then one, we're just saying older one, but it's one that's already been published in one of the aforementioned chapbooks. So the first poem I'm going to read is titled Keneo no Matataraba, which is Raramuri, the indigenous people from that I am related to via my father's side of the family. And roughly translated, the title translates to thank you, Father, or thank you, Dad. My dad shares with me fragments of memories he keeps of a home mis abuelos fled as occupations continue. I ask when he first returned to his or our land. Fui a buscar mis papeles para casarme. Fue la primera vez que visité Chihuahua después de que nos habíamos venido para Sinaloa, cuando fui por mi acta de bautismo. I try to imagine him with his bride-to-be traversing mountains together, struggling to return somewhere lost, searching to prove his origins, his rights to cross any border, detaining him from his future. And so that's a poem partially based on a story of my dad recounting to me that there is effectively one document that existed that could prove where he was born, because of his and my family status of being indigenous and a rural population within northern Mexico. So the second poem is called Dear Mama. Please forgive me the cliche I am become, despite unending talks between you, me, and the countless dead relatives you try to remember all by yourself. ¿Te recuerdas, Ama, how much you and mi abuelita used to say, ¿Cómo se parece a papá, verdad? As if I couldn't know in that moment you were using me to summon a ghost, to relive a trauma still so young as to need a mother, her affection and false promises of permanence and life free of suffering. Old enough to know now I have my own guilt sprouting from memory's barren soil. It goes like this. Years after you are still feeling the losses of both your parents, taken from you by a border resembling lungs, unable to breathe, unable to keep fighting for air, you and I talk about us, your work and the families you try to help, families who have recently arrived and try to survive, and families who have survived for generations. And we talk about my lack of work, my struggles to trust myself, to trust my body, not to asphyxiate. You sigh, laugh, tell me, ¿sabes qué? De todos mis hijos, I have always known least what you need from me. And I breathe. An alienating clench frees my esophagus. After nearly 20 years, your words make me want to keep surviving and struggling and breathing and reliving and working with others who fight to keep breathing. So, Ama, I can finally tell you what I need from you. In exchange for your forgiveness, Ama, yo te pido, don't call the police on the yelling or singing outside. It's only the sounds of your children remembering everything it took for us to live this long and trying to live just a little bit longer. Con afección, tu hijo. Cool. So Jake mentioned one of my chapbooks. It's titled JAULA. It's available from Gasher Journal Press. I believe the link is in the chat. I'm going to read the eponymous or titular poem from the collection called JAULA. And for folks who don't read or understand Spanish, it means cage, is what the title means. So here we go. Always this cursed condition, fenced in on all sides by border or militia or history or lost men swathed in armored flags, wandering in search of something to burn. Always the dying, never the killing, the first light, the resurrecting, never the survivance, the chosen martyr to do it once more. Always our bodies, suspect to fictions told and retold of unnatural scattering across homelands without documents, only histories of deserts, of clouds and mountains, of spirits dancing alongside us, undetained by imaginary checkpoints, unmarked by unneeded words. Still breathing, white oblivion, satellite, cannot consume us, cannot obscure us, our shadows and howls. Echoes unsilenced, resonate still on skin, movements undetected, recover bodies living against chain linked lies. Touched, we open serrated mouths and let noonlight strike our flint tongues, laughing saliva into chispas. And let our spit dissolve concrete rotting borders, separating children, songs, ghosts, futures, homelands. And let us bleed beliefs, beating, breaking, being, belonging. Y déjate sentirlo sin falta. Let yourself feel without your storyteller heart, your songbird ferocity, tu lenguaje de amor serpentina. Remember through flesh the fear of becoming devoured by dirt, by sea, by sun, by eternity, by word, and let memories swell as sandstorms wear rocks, accumulate mountains from dust light enough to kiss into the stars, obsidian mirrors by whispers faint as ancestral breaths, felt more than heard, sound and wave, dreams of dreams rising from within our desert to proclaim no more. No more melting pot emptiness. No more monuments for ancestors who plundered. No more ruins for ancestors who did not think of walls, did not first speak transatlantic annihilation. No more told to us by those who don't know us. Aquí, where our souls cannot be caged, we reunite with loved ones who have remained dead and alive, reclaiming our time to cry. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Oscar. Sorry, I was having some button problems. It's kind of a nature of Zoom. Cool. Beautiful gratitude. Beautiful comments coming on the chat. Thank you so much. So many beautiful lines.